You know, at some point, I have to get these books read. I want to start this video by saying thank you to my patrons. Thank you for supporting my passion. Hey everyone, welcome back to Andrew's Wizardly Reads. And as always, guys, I'm Andrew. And today I have got some series that I just absolutely have to read before the end of the year. But before we get into that, make sure you are liking and subscribing, hitting that bell notification so you can get regular updates for when I put out new content. Also, make sure you're checking that description box down below for the link to the Wizard Duo Discord, as well as links to all my social media, including information about my Patreon, where I do weekly wrap-ups, I do early access to videos, and quarterly giveaways. And guys, these are 5 series that I really need to get to before the end of the year. I was recently watching a video by Jessie May, who she's like, I've got all these books that I just need to read. And I was kind of just turning around and looking at my shelf going, you know, I've been pretty good at wrapping up some series, but lately, like these five are like just stuck in my crawl. I can't for some reason seem to get them on the TBR. And so I figured, why not ask for a little bit of help from you guys? And specifically, these are 5 that I want to prioritize this year. You know, we've got a few months left, and I need to get to these. I've been reading a lot of indie books, but man, if these stay on my shelf a whole lot longer, I'm probably just going to unhaul them. And so here's what I want you guys to do. I've got 5 series here, and just give me a ranking of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of what order I should read these in, which ones should I start. I at least want to read these 5 books so that I can say, hey, I've started these series. So I need your help to kind of just vote and help me decide which one to start first and which ones I should prioritize. Now, I read The Emberblade last year, and I fell in love with The Emberblade. And in fact, the sequel to The Emberblade is getting ready to come out. And he's got another series called the KDJ series. And this is Retribution Falls by Chris Wooding. I've heard this is absolutely fantastic. It's steampunky. It's supposed to be kind of like heisty. It's supposed to be maybe have some like Firefly vibes and things of that nature. Maybe a little bit of Flintlock fantasy. And everybody that I talked to who has read this has like, yeah, it's great. You should read it. Well, that's why I bought the books. Now I just need to read the books. So I need a little bit of a push to get to this one. So that's our first one, is Retribution Falls. And then early on in the channel, I kept talking about The Blue, the Black, and the Gutter. Well, guess what? I still have not read The Blue, the Black, and the Gutter by Gareth Hanrahan. This is the Black Iron Legacy. And I mean, I got 3 books in this series, and I think the 4th one's getting ready to drop here sometime in the next like 6 or 7 months. I could be wrong about that, but this was introduced to me as being kind of like the video game Bloodborne from Software. And that got me really intrigued. It's supposed to be like darker. And I mean, you can just look at it and tell that this is a darker tone of story. And I've tried to do a couple buddy reads with this, and I just never seem to get to it. I know there was a buddy read like last year in Mark from Slowly Red's Discord. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm totally going to jump in on that. I didn't do it. And now it's been over, I think like a year and a half since I purchased this book. And I still haven't read this one. And I need to know if it's good or not, because if it's not good, it's taking up shelf space. And if it is good, I'd like to have it in the old brain pan. So, yeah, there's that. And then speaking of Firefly vibes, this one I've been seeing getting a little bit of attention here lately. And that's Alex White's A Big Ship at the Edge of the Universe. It's one of those really wordy titles. This is the Salvagers Book 1. I picked this up on a whim at my local half-price books last year. And then I went and bought the rest of the trilogy. I still haven't read it. This is sci-fi, and you would think with me now being an SPSFC judge that I would be reading more and more sci-fi, which of course this is not self-pub, but it's still sci-fi, and I feel like I should be wanting to read this, but I just haven't yet. And I mean, there's a blurb right here on the back from Nicholas Eames, who I love, and it says, do you miss Firefly? Do you want it back? Well, sorry, not gonna happen, but this book is darn close. And why haven't I read this yet? Why haven't I read it? Like, I want to get to it. And honestly, like, I need to get to it by the end of this year, because I do miss Firefly, and I do want to kind of feel those feels again. And it would just be nice to get this series started. Surprising nobody, we've got The Bone Ships by R.J. Barker. This is a world where it's like, you know, the bone ships, where the ships are made out of dragon bones. Dragons are becoming rare. People hunt the dragons for their parts, and the parts are like magical. I've heard that the first book is kind of rough, but then like the second and the third knock it out of the park. This one, for some reason, I have not been able to start an R.J. Barker book because I've got Wounded Kingdom as well, which, I mean, you can technically add that to the list, but, I mean, this is the one that I bought first before I bought Wounded Kingdom, so this one's been sitting on my shelf even longer, and I just want to get to it, guys. Like, I just need to read the books. Like, you would think as much as I read, I would just read more, and yet it doesn't seem like I'm doing that. And then it's time that I got back to Anthony Ryan, and we've got Draconis Memoria here. This is a Flintlock urban style fantasy, again with dragon parts and things of that nature. It says right here, Waking Fire is part Indiana Jones, part Pirates of the Caribbean, and part Mistborn, and that's from Django Wexler. And, I mean, that just sounds awesome. Like, I've heard this is great. I will never listen to another audiobook that has been written by Anthony Ryan. These are all physical reads for me from now on because, frankly, Raven Shadow on audio is atrocious, and that just ruined it for me. So I need to read this one physically, and I just need to know when to fit it in. So, guys, if you could do me a huge favor and just vote on which one of these I should prioritize first, and what order do you think I should start these series. Frankly, I am not advocating to start the whole series, but, like, I'm willing to start 5 series just to say I've started these on the shelf. They've been on the shelf for well over a year, and frankly, it's starting to stress me out. So please, let me know in the comments down below, and make your voice heard. That said, guys, that's all I've really got here for you. So let me know your vote in the comments down below. And as always, till next time, peace out, stay magical, bye. And I just want to give a huge thank you to my patrons.